Yeah, take it.
Hi guys, this is Mike, and this is my take on building on the clan Nova Grapplers based around the build of the Azure Asura build. First, let me start from the starting vanguard. From the starting vanguard, trigger lineup, grade one lineup, grade two lineup, and the grade three lineup. So first, let me first start with the starting vanguard. My starting vanguard is Beast Deity White Tiger. Usually, why I picked him is because I would prefer to give my I usually slide him uh, behind the vanguard to give pressure to my opponent. So every time when I attack, they have to also consider the booster of my vanguard, and also not bad also as a 5k booster who can also pioneer to a rear guard. Next, going now to the trigger lineups. Staple for draw for me to increase my hand. After having four draws, I have for the other triggers, of course, four heals to keep balance for the deck. And here's one unique part for me. My other for my trigger lineup, I keep two stand triggers and six critical triggers. Why like this? Because for me for this build, the stun effects here in this build are already good. I don't want to put too much stans because for me if I put too much stans, they'll be like redundant over the skill of Asura Kaiser or redundant for the skill of Azure Dragon. So instead of trying to overlap that skill, I'll try to put in more triggers, put more pressure on my Vanguard because usually in the game here I observe for me when I play this deck that usually my opponent will guard my rear guards first guard my rear and then take the attack from my take the attack from my vanguard. So to have a little surprise for how for my build with this deck, I usually put more critical triggers rather than stun triggers. So at least they would take more take damage and try to get more back into the game. And also to have that why two stun triggers because for me just to complement also complement to the effects of my main vanguards here, Asura Kaiser and Azure Dragon. Now after the triggers, now we go to the grade ones. Hmm. Set of tough boys. For me, a set of tough boys is good because I try to make my field scalable as possible, so I can try to hit those numbers that really make a difference in my lineups. Especially good against, especially when my beat the booster tough boy and then my attacker would be death metal droid, so I could reach those numbers that really make a difference in the game. After Top Boy, I have a set of Death Army guys. Death Army guys, yeah, a staple for this kind of build for the Nova Grapplers. Two shouts for me to help also filter what I look for. I look for either I look for a try to help me ride to the next try to help me look for that missing grade if in case I might miss a grade, I might miss ride, so it help me filter the cards and also not bad also as a booster. And for me, three twin bladers. Three twin bladers because for me I would try to save up space for more boosters to help my lineup help my attacking lineup better and make that difference every time with I attack. Why only three? Because for me three would be already good enough. Three is already good enough for me, and at least to protect myself against all those big attackers like Ezel or Amon. Now after the grade ones, we're moving now to the grade twos. Start with a set of Death Army Ladies. For me, a staple, a really good staple for the deck. After Death Army Ladies, Kirara, a set of Kirara. For me, it's important for me that the Nova Grappler deck would should have a Kirara because usually as the game as the game might progress on goes longer, it's important that we should also have build up hand advantage to guard or to look for those units look for those units because for me in a Nova Grappler deck it's important that we it's important that we should try to make establish field presence and also establish a good hand. And just to fill up the grade 2 space, about two King of Swords, just some beat sticks I would like to put in the front row, even in case one of my front row rear guards are retired, I would put them here, just to even in case my opponent's vanguard is only a 10k vanguard. If I stand him using the skill of Asura Kaiser or of Battle Riser, I can still make that another hit, another take on the my opponent's vanguard. Great. After the grade twos, we now move on to the grade threes. Staple grade threes staple boss card for Asura Kaisers, because this is my main boss card for me in this deck. I usually keep a set because I would try to ride him as much as possible. After Asura Kaiser, I move now to Azure Dragon. For me, how I play Azure Dragon is he's also good as a vanguard, but for me, I can also he's also good as a rear guard, because I can also at least a target for my starting vanguard is ID White Tiger. So if in case my vanguard hits, I would also use the skill of White Tiger to stand Azure Dragon. Also good as a rear guard. If in case I ride him as a vanguard, it's okay for me because he's still a solid 11k vanguard, and I can also use him. Even in case I have a persona, I can use him. If I have a copy, I can use his persona blast to stand my rear guards for more hits again or more takes against my opponent's vanguard. After Azure Dragon, two Death Metal droids. Death Metal droids for more beat sticks or more high level attacking rear guards for me to take more takes against my opponent's vanguard. Why these two because I have I my boosters here are usually Tough Boy. My good combo here is usually putting Tough Boy behind Death Metal Droid. So even in case I would go against those 11k vanguards, he would still make a difference, making my opponent guard for more attacks. And for me build, since it's an Asura Kaiser build, I usually run more than the average grade threes, like around 9 or 10 grade threes. So the skill of Asura Kaiser would be more consistent. So I can also for the Death Army effect, so they can be more consistent. And for the stand, and my last take about this deck is that I since they already have skills on standing rear guards, usually I would put more try to implore more critical triggers here. So if in case my opponent will just guard my rear guards, I still have some critical triggers. I can just make deal more damage, and also if I can stun a unit, I can give the boost to a standing next rear guard, so I can stand. So that's that's how I play Nova, how I build Nova Grapplers for the Azure Asura build. Thank you and goodbye.